Hello, I'm Johnny Tompkins, and today I'm here to talk to you about Bayonetta 3. Now, I am really looking forward to this game, so I'm going to talk about a few things in this video. First, I'm going to talk about some theories that I have for the story. Then I'm going to talk about what Bayonetta might look like, you know, some outfit theories, or what I hope that she looks like. And lastly, I'm going to talk about my wishes for the gameplay in this game. So first, let's talk about the story. Now, in the Bayonetta 3 trailer, there was a lot of things that had to do with, like, duality, things, you know, splitting apart, and just having, like, two of everything. There was that part where she was holding the guns and they just, like, split apart like this when she got hit. There were a few interesting key details in the video, like, her guns, they aren't Scarborough Fair in the video, they're called Whittingham Fair, but they look the same as Scarborough Fair. The fact that she's wearing her Bayo 1 outfit is another thing. And then there's the fact that she literally gets, like, split in half in the video, and then the emblem, you know, the Umbran witch symbol emblem gets, like, split in half to make the 3. Oh, and at the beginning of the trailer, her hair ribbon split in 2 as well. So duality seems to be a big theme that's going to be happening in this third game. And my personal theory for this, and it would explain why she's in her Bayo 1 outfit, why she has these Scarborough Fair lookalike guns called Whittingham Fair, and why everything is splitting in 2. I think this has to do with the first game, how she kind of inadvertently split the timeline in 2 when she had to go back to the past to drop off Cereza, which made her life take a completely different course. Instead of her being sealed away for 500 years, now she, I guess, fought back at the war. We don't even know which Bayonetta we were dealing with in the second game, now that I think about it. Were we dealing with the one that fought back for 500 years, or are we dealing with the one that was sealed away for 500 years? She had Scarborough Fair in the first game, not Whittingham Fair. So, with that knowledge, I think it's safer to say that the Bayonetta that we are dealing with in Bayonetta 2 was the same Bayonetta from Bayonetta 1, coming from the timeline where she was sealed away for 500 years and just regained her memories. And possibly even gained memories from the Bayonetta that fought back for 500 years. And this Bayonetta in the trailer for Bayonetta 3 that's holding the Whittingham Fair would be the Bayonetta that did fight back for 500 years. In other words, it would be Cereza that she sent back to the past. Either way, it's not fun to see Bayonetta get cut in half or die, you know? So I'm hoping that neither version of Bayo actually dies in Bayonetta 3, but that is definitely my theory on what the premise of the story for Bayonetta 3 is going to be. It's going to have to do with her having inadvertently split the timeline, and that causing some sort of catastrophic issue of sorts. And we all know she's used to making those, because when she killed the last Lumen Sage, I mean, that created a whole imbalance in itself. So Bayonetta, we love you, but in saving the world, you keep fucking it up too. Then of course we have the purple ghost thing that does cut her in half in the video. Now I don't know what that's all about. A lot of people say that he looks like Rodin. Other theories, like what I would think is like maybe he represents death or something. Maybe he has to do with some sort of imbalance. Maybe it's not an actual person. Maybe it's more like a spirit representation of something. I don't know. This is why we call these theories, because who actually knows? I'm also hoping that we see more of Rosa in Bayonetta 3. She seemed to have this personality when you saw her in Bayonetta 2, and we didn't get to explore it fully, and I really want to see that personality. Like when Bayonetta first met her when she went to the past, and they looked at each other, and they had this moment where they looked at each other and they were like, "You?" And the other one's like, "You?" It seemed like Rosa also knew who Bayonetta was, even though that wasn't, you know, like she shouldn't know who Bayonetta is. But she seemed to know who Bayonetta was. And then they acted all weird when they were teaming up, like they didn't want to touch each other or acknowledge the fact that they were working together. Like it was really weird in this really mysterious way, and I want to see more of that and see why that was. And I think that might have to do with the whole mommy-daughter aspect that Bayonetta 1 brought about with, you know, Bayonetta taking care of Cereza. Maybe that had something to do with it. Maybe her mom knows about all that. Maybe, I don't know, like there's a lot that the story can go with that. I'm also not too sure if we're gonna see Baldur or any of the Lumen Sages again, or if we're even gonna see Loki, because I mean, the Eyes of the World are gone now, I think. I think they're destroyed for good. Or maybe that entity that we see in the trailer is trying to bring the Eyes of the World back. Hey, who knows? Now, where I see this going, I think we're gonna see 2 Bayonettas in this game, possibly, or they may or may not end up working together, or one might just die and the other one is the one that we play as. Either way, I do hope that the Bayonetta that we know and love is going to have a new look. So now let's talk about my hopes and wishes for how she might look in this game. I think it's pretty obvious by now that the color theme for Bayonetta 3 is going to be purple, which makes perfect sense because, you know, we have red and we have blue. Red from the first game, blue from the second game, and if you put those together, of course we have purple. So it makes the most logical sense, but I think it would also be really interesting if we just brought a completely other color into her color scheme. Like, I don't think she's had green yet. God, yellow, but I don't want yellow. Let's not do yellow. I was thinking maybe we could use the purple, which would make perfect sense, and mix that with another color. In this case, I think we should totally go for pink. I think Bayonetta would look so cool in a purple and pink outfit. I would love for it to be, you know, of course skin tight like it usually is. And her hairstyle, I'm really hoping that her hair is long again, but we see it in a different style. Obviously the beehive do, that was like 2009, 2010 style. It worked well because it made her look more like a witch, and honestly I prefer that design to Bayonetta 2 because she looks more witch-like. But at the same time, most people will agree that the second design was cleaner. So I'm hoping for a long hair design for her that is clean like the second design that she had for Bayonetta 2. I think it would look very clean for her to have this pink and purple outfit that's done in a very stylish way, and for her to have long hair, and the long hair, how she has it styled, would be down, but the back kind of comes down to a part where it's tied together and goes down further. And that part that goes down further can spread out into her clothing, you know, just like because how her hair makes the clothing. Hairstyle aside, I am just full on hoping for that pink and purple outfit because I think that would be the best color scheme. Maybe add a little other colors in there for some flair, but those should be the main colors for her next color scheme, you know, like purple, pink, and black. Purple, pink, and black, that would be perfect. Lastly, I want to talk about my wishes for the gameplay in Bayonetta 3. So personally, and I think a lot of people out there that are hardcore Bayonetta fans agree with me, but I am partial to the gameplay of Bayonetta 1 over the gameplay of Bayonetta 2. Bayonetta 2 refined a lot of things, yes, and it did a lot of great things with the combat to make it more fluid and easy to access, but the first game had so many more options and so much more depth to it. And honestly, while it was a little less accessible than the second game, it was still accessible enough to where I think it was already on a good page. If they had just mixed the fluidity of Bayonetta 2 with the same combat from Bayonetta 1, I think it would have been much better. Now that's not to say I want to get rid of the climax mode, because I think that's kind of cool, but I think that climax mode should probably have less of an emphasis in this game. Even in Bayonetta 2, I found myself going more for torture attacks just because, in my opinion, they look cooler anyway, but also because it just made the matches last a more satisfying length. Like when I would use climax mode, it would just, like the match would end so fast, and I know that it was meant to feel like a release, but it felt a little too easy and fast to end the match that way, in my opinion. So I think we should put emphasis back on torture attacks being the main release, and then have climax mode be something more of an alternative option that doesn't work completely better than torture attacks, but is helpful for certain situations. You know, say like the game throws way more enemies at you than it ever has before. Then that would be a good time to use your climax mode rather than torture attacks. Like, that would be so much more fun, and a way better reason to have to use that, without making it overpowered, kind of like it was in Bayonetta 2. Next, I want them to bring back all these moves that added so much variety to Bayonetta 1. So of course we had things like the Umbran portal kick, were so fun and so cool to use in the middle of a battle. Like, I loved how it kind of made everything stop, and then you like go into the portal and you can use it. Like, it made it so stylish. It's not an easy move to make work for a combo because it can take a while and you can also get hit out of it. But when you do make it work, it's so cool and it adds a lot of points to your combo. Same thing with when you rotate the stick to shoot all around you. In Bayonetta 2, they kind of took this out. Like, if you rotate your analog stick and start shooting with either your hands or your feet, then you just kind of shoot extra powerful bullets in every direction without moving it yourself. In Bayonetta 1, when you would rotate the stick and press to shoot out of your hands or feet, it would turn you into this like first-person shooter mode where you could like aim where you wanted to shoot. And I hope, this is probably my biggest gameplay hope out of all of this, is at the very least please bring that back. Please bring back that bullet climax, because that was so much more fun than what we got in Bayonetta 2. Also, Bayonetta 2 made a lot of things kind of worthless, like the bullet climax was kind of worthless in Bayonetta 2 because the magic that you use to shoot those powerful bullets all around you may as well just save that magic up to do a climax mode. And then other things like Heel Stomp, things like those were useless in Bayonetta 2 because again, you're using 3 bars of magic when you may as well just save those for a bunch of Wicked Weaves instead of just one Wicked Weave by pulling those moves out. Bayonetta 1, you had way more use for those moves because you didn't have a climax mode. So I think instead of taking less magic for those moves to do the giant limbs from Madama Butterfly, I think they should make the climax mode weaker so that it works more like an alternative to, you know, using torture attacks or your other magical moves. On top of this, there was an issue with Bayonetta 2 that I have where the enemies often just kind of break your combos for no reason. Like it just does it because the game says that they should. And don't get me wrong, in Bayonetta 1, the enemies parried sometimes too, but it was very rare, and it also felt like they kind of earned it because I broadcasted an attack, but like I'll be in the middle of a combo in Bayonetta 2, and it'll just completely get stopped out of nowhere because the enemy just pushes me back mid-combo. I don't like that. Like, it felt very unfluid and made the combat feel dissatisfying in comparison to Bayonetta 1 in the long run. Either way, I hope that we don't have another little one, as Bayonetta calls them in this third game, because it was kind of redundant in the second game when she called Loki by the same endearing term she used for Cereza in the first game. But yeah, that pretty much sums up my theories and wishes for Bayonetta 3. There is probably more that I want to talk about, and if I do come up with any more of that, I'll make another video. Either way, please, please, please like and subscribe, and I have my Patreon listed in the description below. So if you guys are willing to support me on there, I could really use it. As of the time of recording this video, I don't have any patrons at all. So I would really love it if anyone would be able to help me out there. Other than that, comment on the video, tell me your thoughts, your theories, and share the video too. I want to hear everyone's. I want to get more people involved. I feel like Bayonetta is one of those franchises that doesn't get enough exposure, and we should just start, you know, trying to get more and more people talking about it. Let's build up some hype for 2020, because I think this might be the year that Bayonetta 3 comes out. Or at the very least, we get a trailer. Any sort of attention that game gets is for the best, because Platinum Games deserves it, these games deserve it because they're amazing, and I hope that we can all support their studio so that they can give us more amazing games. Anyways, that's it for now. Keep an eye out for more videos, and I will see you guys in whatever video I do next.